What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Sam Clark and you're watching One Life Cars. Today you join me with the Vauxhall Astra Mark V for a quick tutorial on how to remove and replace the rocker cover gasket, or otherwise known as the valve cover gasket. This car's been leaking a bit of oil. The oil pressure light or oil level light is constantly on, and the timing chain is rattling about like mad. And for those of you who don't know, the timing chain's tensioned via the oil pressure that controls the tensioner. So if you've got low oil, it's going to affect that as well. Chain wears down, you end up blowing the engine. So I'm going to get the bonnet open first. I'm going to show you guys how to remove the old gasket, clean it up and replace it with a new one. Hopefully stopping the oil leak and giving it a bit more oil pressure to solve the problem. So let's crack on. So it's a gasket that separates this top bit, which is the rocker cover, from the top of the head. Forms a seal around here. As you can see, it's all getting out on this side a bit as well, but the main bad bit is around here. See, it's all gunged up right from this corner, dripping on the pipe. I don't know if you can see down there, but it's full of oil. Lost quite a lot over the last sort of month, a good couple of litres. So anyway, to get the cover off, to put the new gasket on, first thing we want to do is get rid of the coil pack. So that's these two bolts here. I think they're T25s or 30s, little Torx bits to get them out. Now I have already done a full video on removing this, so if you want to see it in a bit more detail, there'll be a link at the top right hand corner of your screen now, or if not, it'll be in the description for the coil pack video. So I'm going to get this out of the way, undo this electric connection, pull it off, and then it's just a case of removing a couple of breather pipes and getting all these bolts out, which are like sort of Torx socket bits. I'll tell you the exact size in a minute, but for now I'm going to get the coil pack out of the way and then we can crack on with removing the rocker cover. So I've took off now these two vacuum pipes. Just got a pair of mole grips on those metal clips, so it can be a bit awkward just to squeeze them in and pull them out of the way, or a pair of big pliers will do that fine. There's also this little plastic rail here that runs sort of down the side of where the cam is, and that just literally, the plastic thing slides straight up just to release it from the rocker cover. And it's just a case of undoing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 bolts. Now these are sort of star headed bolts, as you can see, and they're an 8mm star socket to do it properly, but a normal 8mm socket does work, or ring spanner. I've used an 8mm ring spanner, and you can get into all of them just to sort of nip them off a bit. And we'll get all those undone and get the cover off itself, have a look at the old gasket and get the new one in. When you're putting it back on, I don't have a Torx bar to torque it properly. I don't have a torque meter bar to torque it properly, so I'm going to sort of show you the next best thing if you've not got one. But if you do have a torque bar, then I'll tell you the correct torque settings to tighten them back up to. But for now, we'll get these bolts out, get the rocker cover off, and look at getting the new gasket in. Right guys, as you can see, this is the back of the rocker cover. I've got it off the car. There was one bolt amiss to that little plastic wire cover that I was on about pulling up. There's a little bolt behind that as well, so don't forget that's 13 in total. So this is the old gasket. I've got it out. It's a bit perished, it's split in places, it feels rock hard. You can tell it's seen better days. And a bit just chips off there. So to fit your new one, the first thing you want to do is make sure that this track that the gasket sits in is nice and clean all the way around. You don't want any bits of crap in it or anything that's going to obstruct the gasket. So I'm just going to get some tissue or a little brush or something, clean out all these, and then it's just a case of slotting your new gasket in. Now it's important to make sure you do it the right way around. The grooves sort of give it away. Like for these bits here, it'll go in and over and tuck into the groove. So just make sure you don't try and force anything. If it doesn't sort of slot into place, it's probably the wrong way, so try it the other way. Right, so we'll get all these cleaned out, we'll get the new gasket in, and I'll show you guys how to nicely put it back on the car and make sure you don't nip anything. It's dead easy with these rubber gaskets to catch a corner as you're putting it back on the engine and it sort of squashes it and doesn't sit in properly, and then you'll get another leak. Believe me, I've had it happen to me, so you've got to be careful putting them back on. So get these cleaned out, let's crack on. We have the new gasket in. It's a bit hard to see, the light's not good at all, but the new gasket's in its little groove all the way around. Dead careful to make sure everything's in place properly. So I have one last check now, because in a minute we're going to flip it upside down and put it on. Now in the meantime, off camera, I've just gone round the edge of here with a flat screwdriver and just scraped away any sort of deposits, and then just wiped it all off with a cloth. You know, so there's no big chunks of crap. This is where the actual leak was, on this corner, and it was all built up round here. So I've cleaned it off best I can, where the gasket's going to touch the top of the head. So the next thing to do is just make sure bits like that are not in your way, so you can sort of lift it on in one clean motion so you don't catch the gasket. Right, so I've nipped them all up a little bit just so you feel that resistance, and I'm going to use my spanner to tighten this. If you've got a ratchet and it's a small one, that'd be similar, and you just sort of want to nip it, so you know, you nip it so it feels tight each time, and you'll feel that you'll tighten one, and then when you get back to it, it'll feel a bit looser again. Just keep going around until they all hit that sort of resistance point where it feels quite tight. Once you get it to that point, to sort of torque it without a proper torque bar and finish it off, I want you to go around in whatever pattern you're doing, get your spanner or your ratchet on it, I did that a bit, and give it one final good. You don't want to over tighten these, so if you're using a big bar or something, be gentle with it. That's why I'm using this to gauge how tight I'm doing it, so I've not got too much leverage. Because if you squash the gasket too much, then you will damage it and it'll leak again. So I'm going to go around all these and do my pattern. Remember, doing diagonal patterns all the time to spread the load. And once that's tightened up, we can put the coil pack back on, any connections and bits you've undone along the way, the two vacuum pipes, and obviously the electric for the coil pack, and put some oil in it, because that's what it needs the most. Right guys, that's it for me today. That's how to remove and replace the valve cover gasket on the Vauxhall Astra Mark 5, or the rocker cover gasket, some of you might know it else. If you found this video useful, hit that like button, it supports me a lot. If you're new to the channel, you like this sort of stuff, want to request your own tutorial, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments below. Other than that guys, that's it from today. Thanks for watching. Peace.